In the world today, we're given bags of information on how to look after and maintain our physical health, how we should diet, what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat. There's hundreds, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of cookbooks out there, and opinions, and we're told how to maybe handle our money, handle our lifestyle. But there's hardly anything out there that even gives us the basics, how to maintain and look after our mental health and our thinking, our minds. Yeah, around about my 40s, I was forced to take a look at my thoughts, my thinking, the way I was thinking. I went through a really rough patch around about that period. A number of things come at the same time, one of them particularly bad. And it totally wiped me out really badly. I didn't know what was happening actually, but that's maybe for another video, another time. Just I had a bad time, that's all. That's good enough for now. And it just made me because of that, I had to start re-evaluating what I was doing with my mind, my thinking. I never gave it one thought before that. I did what most people do. You just plod on through life. You get up in the morning, just work your socks off. And well, a lot of people do this. That's what a lot of us did back in maybe the 80s, 90s. You just dig deep and you go for it, and a lot of things you're chasing, you don't know really why you're chasing. You're told, items, superficial stuff, and you're just blindly told this is what you should be striving for. With me at that time, it was probably the house. I was probably on my second house by the time not owning two houses, but moving to my second house by my late 20s. It's just like, go for it. But you start neglecting certain areas of your life. You don't know any of this because I can't remember at school anyone teaching us about how to think really. I mean, the psychology side of our lives, there was nothing out there really. I mean, I probably would have worked this one out anyway, because I was just at that point where I was starting to, it was my thinking I was concerned about and how I was feeling. Like I said, I had a bit of an incident. Maybe that's a euphemism for a mild breakdown, but let's not use that word. Because I feel good these days. I feel a lot better these days. Where was I going with this? Yeah, and surprisingly, I had wasn't a really good friend, but it was a friend, somebody I knew. He was a bit of a rough and ready type. He played a bit of football, liked a few pints, a bit loud, but he was a lovely guy, really nice bloke. And he came up to me when nobody was about and it went really quiet, and he knew I was having a rough time. Bearing in mind, he wasn't a good friend or anything, just like, he was a friend. And he said, "Hey John," he goes, he gave me a book. It was Richard Carlson, right? And I got no affiliate to this bloke. It just happened to be Richard Carlson. It was something about, I think the book was called Stop Thinking and Be Happy. And I tell you what, that night I read the first several pages, 10 pages, and that was enough for now. I ended up reading the whole book, and it just got me thinking about my thinking basically, and how I never monitored it. I never really monitored it, And there was this one quote, I think it was out that book as well. It was just saying, you know, if you feel bad and negative and down and stuff, and well, here's the thing, if that's what you're thinking all the time, well, it's going to be no surprise that you're going to go constantly wake up every morning, you know, because you're striving something and you've not got it yet, or it could be various things anyway with your thinking. If you think shitty thoughts, excuse the language, guess what? That's how you're going to feel. And that was a revelation for me. It just got the ball rolling. And then I started looking in other areas. Yeah, I got a little bit heavy with it sometimes as well, but I just looked everywhere. And that sort of psychology, it sort of comes up in various ways. It's, you know, these self-help books, religions. A lot of them are saying similar stuff if you look a little bit deeper. You know, the meditation side. It's all revolving around the thinking, all thoughts, and yet we're taught none of this. There's hardly anything. You can find it. You get on the YouTube now. It's basically what I did. I started doing initially, and it just sounds too simple to put it out there as advice. People are going to say, bloody hell, you know, but it really is that. If you're looking for a complicated answer, you know, well, I haven't got one basically, because it really is that simple. I didn't try stopping my thinking. I think most people would say that, anyone that's close to being an expert, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I have listened to a lot of experts. I started monitoring my thoughts, and I started working really hard. I'm not acting on them. So I was just become an observer. And initially that's all I did. I might have carried a notebook around. I was told to take notes of what was coming into my head. I needed a lot of notebooks. It was incredible. I needed a lot of notebooks. But it's just where they come from and how it happens. It's nearly like there's a third party there sometimes. But that's what I found in my case. But anyway, that's what I started doing. And then slowly I started introducing, when a thought would come to me and I was busy doing something, it's like, all right, but not now. And you just watch it, don't fight it, you just watch it and you go, just tell it, not now. There's lots of other ways, but I'm just giving you, just wanting people to have a good start at this. Just start monitoring your thoughts. If you're feeling crappy and unhappy, just start from that point there. Just start. I'm not going to go into any more detail. There's loads of other stuff. There's ways and means of helping. There's, I don't want to get heavy, and people say, "Oh, bloody meditation," but trust me. Well, you don't have to trust me, but there's a lot of aids out there. But that's all you need for now. Honestly, just to understand that. And you might just drop this video right now and go and start doing your own research. Might give you a good start. I'll be over the moon if you did that. But at that point, right about that point now, I did read one thing it's always started with me. Right, you're thinking, right? If you're not in control of it, or you don't try and control it, I will promise you that somebody else will be trying to do it for you. Whether it's politicians, the media, what do you think those adverts are up every single day, every 15 minutes? If you don't, people around you, manipulative people. I mean, I'm not saying be on the guard and treat everybody like they're out to get you. But as long as you're aware of it, it's a big help. So yeah, you're thinking. Always that stuck with me more than anything. If you're not in control of your thinking, somebody is desperate to take over. Because if they can do that, you can be manipulated in so many ways. Right. Well, you want something simple. I'm sure some people are saying, right, you give me the problem. Okay, look, this is all I will give you. Sorry, I'm just working out where I am again. Okay, just to be fair here, I've given you what I think, what the problem might be. It'd be a bit unfair if I didn't give you something to work with. And or to help even, in my opinion. I've got to say that. I don't want to anyone thinking I'm a bloody expert psychologist here, because I'm not. I still need help myself probably. But yeah, right. I just think really simple. If you want something now, well, for starters, I've already done that in a way, because I always find it really helpful. If there's a problem in your life and you've got no idea what it is, and it's biting you all the time, and you're aware of it, then at least you've got something to you've got something to challenge, then, haven't you? You know what you're challenging. So now that if you think that's good advice, you might not. You might think it's rubbish. Fair enough. But if it resonates with you, and I think it's a big help. When I first found that out about my thinking, I thought, bloody, I've never considered that ever as something that could be affecting my happiness. I thought, no, getting cars and houses and nice girlfriends, I ain't got that problem anymore. But they're the difficulties in life. That's what makes you happy. But when you sort of realise this all of a sudden, and we all should, I wish we was all taught that somewhere along the line. But I sort of understand why we wouldn't be taught that, because there are, it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but somebody else is out there wanting to do your thinking for you, or putting thoughts in your head of what you need or what you don't need. As soon as one advert's convince you to buy one thing that's going to change your life forever, 5 minutes later it's putting another idea into your head what you need to make your life happier. So all I'd say to start with, just take those 10-minute periods out and have a bit of peace. Find a really quiet spot, search it out, and just monitor your thoughts. I'll tell you what, don't even do that. Just listen to your breathing. Just sit there and listen to your breathing. If you get bored of that, just sit there and be aware. Just look around, what's around you, whatever it might be. And just start off right. You can hear traffic outside. You can hear someone talking in a distance. And just focus, just be aware at that point. Don't do anything. Don't ask me why you've got to do this. We'll learn this another day. But just try and get in that moment. So yeah, do that. Yeah, that's a good one actually. So you're sat in a quiet spot. Just tell yourself 5 things you can hear, maybe, or 5 things that you can feel, 5 things that maybe you can see, and then go around the circle again. If you get bored of that, just listen to your breathing. Yeah, I know it sounds boring, but just stick with it to start with. Just learn total silence, and if these thoughts come into your head, don't fight them. Just watch them. Just watch them. Just observe. Don't get involved with them. Don't take them any further. As soon as you notice that thought, by the way, just don't take it any further. And if it keeps fighting you, initially it's going to be difficult. It is. It really is. I can remember that. And I still have problems with it now sometimes. But just, and I did another video, just the base when you're getting back into health and fitness, at our age. Another one is like walking. I love my walking and hiking. And I'm walking now, as you can see. But when you're walking, some days go out, and especially when you're feeling stress and tons of stuff's going through your mind, just start looking at stuff. Just feel the ground as you touch it when you're walking. What was that? There's a lot of deer around here. Just feel your feet touching the ground, and look at a tree. Force yourself. Look what's in the distance. Look at a stream. Look at that mushroom or flower or butterfly, and just look what's there right now. Let that instance. Do it throughout, as much as you can. Do it through the whole walk if you can. Some walks, not every walk. I'll guarantee you as well. There's been periods in your life you might have taken no interest in meditation at all, or mindfulness as they call it. Do you know, it's got a number of names, and I don't want to use any, you know, I don't want to use any names where people are thinking, well, that's a bit heavy for me, I don't want to get into like, a lot of bloody nonsense. So it's basically just controlling your thinking. A lot of psychology uses this method. I think psychologists, they use something called CBR. It's similar. It's monitoring your thoughts and what's going on in your head. I'm not an expert here. Just take everything I'm saying out for digital because I don't want to be responsible for people doing it, or anything going wrong. I was about to say something stupid, like I often do. But yeah, if you think you've never meditated, I bet you're wrong. I'll give you one example. This ain't going to be much use if you're not a fisherman, but I appeal to all the fishermen out there. If you can visualise the time, especially when you were a kid. And there used to be a programme when I was a kid called Out of Town with Jack Hargreaves. I used to love it, and he gave these sort of images as well. But those images on a summer's evening, beautiful summer's evening on a pond, and you've got a float in that water. And I remember this so clearly. I used to love this feeling. It's all I dreamed of for years. And fish were irrelevant. Catching a fish didn't matter. And that float, I think I'm mumbling here, that float was just sat perfectly on the top of this still water. And you were just fixated on it for hours. How boring that sounds, but I bet you there's a load of guys out there who used to go fishing. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you're mesmerised, and then sometimes all of a sudden you'll see it just bob a little bit, and a couple of ripples will come off that. They'll come off that float. It's just. But that's basically your thoughts and your mind is just focused on one thing. Your awareness, and what you're doing there is meditation, and that is the point as well. I'll guarantee. When you're in that state, you won't have anything going through your head. You'll have no thoughts, and that's why I hope a lot of you can get back to at least a few stages in your life. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to totally empty your mind of a negative and horrible thought. And if you can, please get back to me and tell me how you do it. I'd love that conversation. Some people are really good at it. I still struggle with. I'm not going to say. I hate saying the word mental health because it makes you sound like a basket case, but it's all to do with your mental health. We all go through bad times, and sadly, too many, especially men. And I've seen it when I was in the forces. Keep a lot of their problems bottled up until they go and do something stupid. Sadly. I want to make this sound as uncomplicated as is possible, because that's what it's going to be at the start, and that's what, even if you get knowledgeable about this and get good at it, if there is such a word as good, I don't think good is the right answer. It really is a case of less is more. It's just not trying. You're not trying to do anything. You're not trying to get better at it. But all I'd suggest you do is just take an interest in this subject, what's going on in the mind, the various ways of maybe controlling it. Don't look at it as if you're trying to get rid of thoughts, because you don't want to do that anyway. Because your thinking is an incredible, amazing tool. And awareness, conscious, well, that's getting a bit heavy now. But the fact we realise we're here now is incredible. But that's just unexplainable. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road because I don't even understand it. So just get that little place, monitor your thoughts, and maybe try meditation. So they're all talking about that, meditation, religion talks about it, loads of religions. And you can see why people get an interest in Buddhism and Hinduism, and yeah, I'm sort of, they get drawn towards those sort of religions. And that's a bit heavy. I'm not saying you should become a bloody Hindu or Buddhist. I'm not, by the way. I don't follow any religion. I've got an interest in a couple of them. And that's for another day, maybe, if at all. So, the skill to this is there is no skill. It's just get quiet areas, quiet places, and just be aware of that moment. Your breathing. Just listen to your breathing. And your thoughts are going to come and you will not be able to stop them, and just observe them, and you will get better. I'll guarantee you will get better in weeks and months, and you'll know exactly what I hope you know exactly what I'm talking about in sooner rather than later.